here. Awesome, awesome. And then the recording is put on my YouTube channel as well. So here we go. Wonderful. Great evening. Great evening. Great evening, everybody. Here we go. I am the dynamic, daring, one of a kind diva Denise Silas. Want to welcome everybody to our Let's Talk About It Tuesday. Excited to have you here. So if you are new to Empowered by DS, please put that in the chat. Tell us how you found out about tonight's session as well, and maybe even what has piqued your interest about this particular topic that we're going to have today. So before we get in it, I'd love to always tell you guys who Empowered by DS is. And of course, you have myself and my two daughters are on here tonight, but it's myself and my two daughters. Our whole mission of Empowered by DS is to empower women to be the best version of themselves in their current season of their life, to help them to build community, connection, and confidence. We do that in a couple of different ways, mainly through experiences. So we host at the beginning of the year a vision board party, and then throughout the year we do other empowerment breakfasts, or like last night we did a virtual empowerment, and that's all about helping them to build their professional, personal development, to find their gifts and really shine in that. Then we also host what's called Divas Dinner and Dialogue, or sometimes dancing. And that the purpose of that is to bring women together through conversation and community, and then also to help them with their social self-care, to be able to interact and have a good time with like-minded women. At the end of the year, you guys, we do what's called a Vision to Victory celebration, because a lot of times people will do something at the beginning of the year, set the goal, post it in a vision board, make it all pretty, and never look at it again. So we want to keep their minds focused on that, and then be able to celebrate however they want to be celebrated at the end of the year. So we hope that you guys will join us. This year we did our very first retreat called Escape to Empower Me. We're excited about what we're going to do next year and the years to come. We'll be doing, in a couple of years, we'll start planning for actually our retreat on the water. So we'll be doing a cruise to be able to take women away, help them to relax, restore, reset themselves, and then bring them back to reality as well. So set your calendars, and I'll talk about this a little bit more. Every September for ovarian cancer awareness, we do what's called Fill the Till, and that's all in memory of my sister who passed from ovarian cancer. In addition to those things, I do group training, one-on-one coaching. We have right now that we're doing the 21 Most Powerful Minutes of a Leader stage, just really helping women to hone in on their leadership skills and learn more about leadership through the Bible. And then at the end of the year, we also do one of the ways we give back is through our adopted grandparent program. So we have been able to support Sacred Heart Southern Missions with giving over 400 elderly a gift for the holidays. So we do that with the partnership with the community. And then we do also an empowerment subscription box. And that's to really just give women the opportunity to focus on themselves. It's about them staying in tune with the desires of their hearts. And we provide a journal, and in that journal, it's only about them. It's not about what the kids got to do. It's not about taking mama to the doctor. It's none of that. It's all about themselves and how to stay focused on that. Our theme of the one that we just sent out for this quarter is protecting your peace. So we give scriptures regarding that. We give motivational things, so affirmations around it. So really to help women stay focused on themselves and what's true to themselves. So, because how many of you agree you cannot be great for somebody else if you're not paying attention to yourself as well? And then lastly, on Facebook, we would love for you to join us. If you're on Facebook, we have a community called Decide Tribe. Decide stands for Divas, Empowering and Connecting Individuals Who Dare to Excel. So we just want to bring women together to celebrate them, not just tolerate them like some people do, and also to provide them a space to be able to connect with other women. These are some of our things that are coming up. On August 1st is our next Diva Dinner and Dialogue with Dancing. This is the birthday edition. I'll be celebrating my birthday, so bringing all my good girlfriends together, all of who wants to party and do some line dancing together. So we have dinner and dancing, and then have the opportunity to just kind of do some networking as well. we're planning our fourth cruise. So I love doing our cruises. It's called Celebration of Life. So if you are looking to do some vacation and just don't have nobody to plan it because you don't like planning for yourself, join us. You can get the perks of the group or you can play with the group. You can do it all. So if you want more information, just text travel to the 662 number. You probably got a text from me. You can just text that word back and it will give it to you. And then this is the information about our Field the Teal. So two things, September. So put September, please, please, please on your calendar. We will have a Diva Dinner Dialogue in September, but also Jane's Gym is partnered with us to help us raise money for ovarian cancer. They're hosting on September 12th a dance fit. So we're just dancing for a cause. And then on September 23rd is our annual Field the Teal in Your Hottest Heel. So it'll be a game night, a lot of fun, and some awareness about ovarian cancer. So we hope that you would be connected with us. And of course, every Tuesday, we are right here with some amazing topics to help women just to talk about those things that you're curious about, but just not taking the time to go find it out for yourself, basically. So if there's some topics you want me to hit up to find more information, please let me know because I want to give everybody what they need. So we've had a variety. We've had a great lineup for the month of July. I'm excited about tonight. And then even next Tuesday, I'll be interviewing my daughter. Just as a young woman coming out of college, she's been out of college for about 5 years, how she's had to navigate that transition, and then also being in a predominantly white male environment as an engineer, navigating through all of that and still being able to have a voice. So she'll be sharing that. So if you know of anybody who'll be coming out of college or even a parent that need to support their child while they're in college and being able to navigate that next step for them. So that's the next week. And you guys, August is going to be hot too. So I'm excited about our guest for the month of August. And check out our website. You can see all the things that we do right there on the website. And then follow us on all social media platforms. If you have anything, all you got to remember is Empowered by DS. We use it for everything. Empowered by DS. So you can email me if you have a topic or have any questions or any ways that we can support you in the things that we're doing. So, I try to get that out as fast as I can. We're excited to have Kim here tonight. And before she starts, I'm just going to tell you guys how our topic came about for today. One of the things that when I'm out networking, you guys, I promise you, I'll be interviewing people on the spot. I just start asking them questions. Right, Kim? I just start asking questions and asking questions. I was like, you may be a good person to come on our Let's Talk About It Tuesday. So, and I probably did Melinda the same way when I was talking to her. So tell me what you're doing. Tell me what you're doing. Why do you do that? So that is exactly how Kim and I started talking and finding out what was important to her, how she was transitioning, and just, to me, anybody who is courageous enough to step out and do something different, because we get caught in that the life of just doing the routine because it's the easiest, right? It's the less threatening aspect of life. So for her to just be doing that, I thought she would have some things to share. And then she also is going to do give us a presentation and give us some just personal and some professional feedback on it as well. So I'm excited. So Kim, take it away.
All righty. Thank you very much. Can I do a split screen of me and the PowerPoint or no?
Yes. First I'm gonna make you. I'm gonna spotlight you, and then when you share your screen, we'll still be able to see you
Okay. So that is,
if you need.
I just want to make sure I can find it. I'll figure it out in a minute. It's okay. Well, hi everybody. My
And if you
name's
need me
Kim.
to, if you need to email it to me, just let me know.
Okay. If not, I'll ask you just direct me the right way to figure this out.
Okay.
So thank you guys for taking your time, ladies, I should say, for taking your time this evening. I know time is precious for us all. So um, you must have seen the topic and were intrigued and you had some notion of career change. That may have piqued your interest. So just to give you a little background about myself, um, I am 53 and I'm trying to do through a career change right now. So it's, an interesting time of life to try to go, oh, I'm going to change, tack and move to a whole new industry. Um, so back in the 90s, teenager, early 20s, I did a lot of retail, restaurants, the college jobs, that kind of stuff. Learned some great customer service skills. Um, and then I went to college for a while, did not finish my degree, but ended up joining the United States Air Force, was in the Air Force for almost 5 years as a communication specialist and learned a ton of skills, more public speaking, project management, technical skills. Now, keep in mind, this was the 90s, so that was, quite a while ago with technical skills. um, Facilitation. I started teaching classes for the first time when I was in the Air Force as well. I was horrible at it at first, but came a long way. And then in the 2000s, I took some of my tech and my public speaking skills, and I became a software trainer. And so I worked for a company for about 3 years and did classes almost every day, teaching people how to click a mouse, how to use Word, PowerPoint, web design, all that kind of fun stuff. And then moved on to um, I worked for the city Cedar Rapids as their web designer for a while. Launched a whole new platform for them, and again adding on to my skills of what I did as a software instructor, and applied that then to the everyday, and then made a lot of network connections. Everywhere I go and every job I make, it's so important to continue to talk to your coworkers, to your clients, keep up those good rapports, because you never know where that next opportunity comes from. Um, so anyway, so then I was a web designer for a while. Then I was laid off and was looking for something to, continue to support my family, and ended up with a large manufacturing company as a training consultant. So it was originally a training specialist position, and I really just focused on the local facility, managed the training rooms, wrote a lot of training materials, like an instructional designer at that time. Um, and then the company changed tack and they brought in continuous improvement. So it was a brand new process for us, and I got to follow along in the journey. So I was lucky enough to learn a lot about continuous improvement. I gained a ton of skills and merged that with the training and development world. I was with that company for 11 years and then unfortunately was laid off. So then, okay, pull up those bootstraps after 11 years and got to change again. This time I went back into web project management. So I helped the developers um, build college websites for almost 2 years. And again, I got laid off. And I said, okay, I'm sick of getting laid off. I got to do something that's going to, you know, make something more substantial for me, since I don't have a college degree. What can I do to increase my skill set at that time? And I thought, let me get into management. So I thought my easiest in was retail and restaurants. So that is where I've been for the last 11 years, almost 11 years, but 9 years, was in retail and restaurant management. And my last almost 6 years was Office Depot, and that's how I got to meet Denise. She was actually a customer of ours for quite a while. And again, a great experience. I was the general manager at this location. And I learned so much about myself as a person, as a manager, what I want and what I don't want out of life. Right. So it was one of those, and I finally got to the point in my career and I went, okay, I'm working 60, 70 hours a week. I don't think I want that. I want to have more flexibility in my schedule. I want to have better culture around me. I want to have better leadership with the people that I work with. So I took inventory. And actually, that's where we're going to actually bring up the slideshow. Let's see. Maybe. Oh, I see it now. Oh, I think it's only set for you to share. You've got to switch it over for all participants. Maybe.
Right. Let me see, because I made you co-host. While we are doing this, you guys, can you, we have a lot more that came in. Can you put in the chat where you are tuning in from? And if this is your first Empowered by DS, I made you co-host.
Oh, I got it now. It's a Kim thing. It wasn't a you. We got this. All right. I'm just trying to get to. There we go.
We see it.
There we go. Can y'all see it okay?
It's coming up. I can see it.
Okay.
Hey, Erica.
We're good?
I still see your so hit from beginning.
I did.
Hit it again because I saw it spinning at first.
Okay.
We can see that versus seeing your screen itself isn't coming up.
Hmm.
But we do see the slide.
Well, what if you
Hey Kim, hit the
Yes, ma'am.
bottom, the bottom, at the bottom where it says notes, and hit the 1, 2, 3. I guess it will probably be so that it can.
I wonder why
all it's doing is up and
going back
down?
and forth. Yeah.
Yeah.
But we do see it. I was
Well, I'm
trying.
wondering, what if I just did this?
Hey, it's a
Does that
solution.
work?
That works.
Yep.
Okay, ladies, we're gonna roll with that. Okay, and let me know if you got questions, but I think we're gonna roll with that. So this is my introduction slide that I was just rambling on about, just kind of giving you a bit about my past work experience. And then one of the questions Denise also asked me about was, how did I choose that work path? It was a blend of it chose me and I chose it.
Mm.
Over the years, it was developed a set of skills and try to utilize that next set of skills into that next role, right? And try to advance yourself. Every time you went into a new role, you took skills with you, made them better, hopefully, and then learned some more. I mean, and then sometimes it deviates, from not necessarily where you think you're supposed to go. And you might get a surprise along the way. And happy or not, it still enhance everything that you've learned, and give you some education. And then sometimes you go, okay, well, maybe this industry isn't for me. I got to change, right? I got to switch back to something I'm more comfortable in or whatever it might be. And then the other question Denise posted was, is what you are pursuing now always been your passion? So I haven't gotten to that yet. So I'm going to talk about my next steps. So I left Office Depot 3 weeks ago at the end of June, almost a month now, actually. And all I'm doing right now is focusing on me, on my health. I'm taking yoga classes. I have gotten on LinkedIn. Again, I mean, I've been on LinkedIn, but I'm on LinkedIn, right? I'm actually more active, proactively on social media there. You have to be these days. I am networking. That's how I met Melinda at a SHRM meeting we had in Memphis. And then Denise, again, we've known each other through Office Depot and then also through the South Haven Chamber. So it's been really rewarding to get out, meet folks locally, talk to these lovely women who have also taken their careers in a different direction and made their own consultation services. It's huge. So for me, that's similar to the path that I want to go. I'm getting back into talent development, is what it's called now. It used to be called learning and development. And so I've also gone back to school, if you will, and went to Association of Talent Development, and am taking a lot of certificate courses to help beef up my resume, so I can also add that, have those deeper discussions with people. I'm connecting with folks in my career field that I want to be in from all over the world. So finding like-minded people again, and learning what's currently going on in talent development. It's been a hot minute since I've been in that field. I need to make sure I'm up to speed with the lingo, the vocabulary, all the concepts and processes. So I've got to take that time right now just to study and focus and to make sure I'm where I want to be so that I can be ready for that next step, either in being a consultant or actually getting a job in a corporation or wherever it might be. All right. So one of the first steps I did in this process was personal inventory because I was coming home working crazy hours. I'd come home crying. I'm miserable. I hate this job. I don't know what to do. And I had to go, why? Is it just the hours? Is it the customers, the people, the organization, what is it that makes me unhappy or unsatisfied to be here? And it took me a while. It wasn't an overnight thing. I just knew I wasn't happy, but I didn't want to jump ship in an unplanned way and put my life in jeopardy because I wasn't financially ready or had a plan, right? I wanted to make sure I had a plan in place. So I took some time and just did a lot of self-reflection of what I didn't want in the current job situation and what I did want moving forward. And that, if you want to journal it, if you want to have discussions with coworkers, people you trust, friends, family, and if anybody has any other ideas for this, and I know Denise, if you want to talk about that vision board.
Yeah, because one thing I always say is people are quick to talk about what they don't want. But taking that time to really figure out if, I have this statement that I say often is if the world was perfect, it was up to me, this is what it would look like. Sit down and answer those questions because then I believe two things happen. You're going to draw to you the things that you want, right? You'll start talking about it. So then people indirectly will start helping you to find those things because you keep speaking it. And then the other thing I say to that is when you start looking for stuff, it'd be easier for you to identify it versus you just keep responding to stuff. So whether it's doing a vision board, but I think getting it down on paper and being clear about the things you want adds to the vision board. But sometimes people think vision boards like, oh, I got to take this time to do it. Just write it down, get you a piece of paper and write it down. Like do it immediately. Start even asking people. Sometimes you even have to ask people when you think about me, what do I do most of? Like, because sometimes we just do stuff and forget about it. So it's like, what do you do most of, or what do people think about you when it's, think of you to do it? And you ask yourself, what do people always asking me to do? Like, then you figure out that is, oh, and I do that with ease. But because I think sometimes we don't even realize what we're good at because we just do it and just think that's what everybody does. Mm-hmm. It may not always be the case. So I love the fact that, just emphasizing taking that inventory and being able to put on your paper, if the world was perfect and it was up to me, this is what it would look like. And then just write it. I mean, what would your pay scale would look like? All the things so that you can then start manifesting it. Really.
Absolutely. And it's things like even, do you want to work in the office? Do you want a hybrid job? Are you going to work remotely? Where do you want to stay in if you're local, or are you in Memphis, Huntsville, wherever you might be? Do you want to move? Now is now the time to relocate somewhere and see if you can find something in another state. I mean, so it's not just one thing, right? It's right. Your whole picture. And it is good to sit down, especially when you're feeling twitchy, kind of take that inventory. And some people are getting twitchy, or they're maybe beyond twitchy at this point and they're just not happy. So definitely take the time to take care of yourself and take that inventory. Mm-hmm. after the inventory and you start identifying what you do, what you don't want, what you might have, and this is the skill set, Denise, that we were talking about. It's identify those transferable skills. So going for me from a retail sales environment, even though it was management, but still there's a lot there. What soft skills and hard skills can I transfer to the industry I want to go in? And you may not know what industry you want to go in right away, but you could still, again, go through that identification. One of the things I would highly recommend is just start poking around LinkedIn. There are so many people that post their resumes. They say open to work. There's resumes out there. Start looking to see what other people have in for their skills. And you can get the right wording. There's tons of AI driven applications out there now, and AI is huge, as we all know, and I know it's the burgeoning tech. If you have Microsoft Office, you may have Copilot. That can do some for you. I know there's Chat GPT. I actually paid like $24 for 1 month of an AI resume service, but I used it enough. I was happy with my $24 purchase to get my baseline. And then I had my sister's a life coach. So I had her review it. And she goes, okay, now think about this, and helped me rework it one more time to where I was pretty happy with my baseline. But what I had for soft skills was a little too soft. And so she helped me identify that. And that's why I said, look at what other people are doing. See other sample resumes, type in AI, look for sample resumes in an industry that you're interested in. And Melinda, I'm going to call on you, ma'am. You've done a lot of this too, because she's our HR specialist over here. So any other things you would recommend when you identify your skill sets?
I mean, I would just have to say ditto to what you and Denise said. I mean, a lot of times we don't think about those unspoken talents that we just do naturally and don't even think about it. But it's really that one thing that you love, and if the world was yours, you didn't necessarily have to get paid from that, but make sure you are paid, right? Like I love, human resources and, it's something that I love to do. Now I still gotta make some money, but it's just one of those things that I just really, really love to do. And along with your suggestion of ChatGPT, Copilot, LinkedIn, find that training too. There are a lot of free training opportunities that you can take advantage of. A lot of things on LinkedIn, a lot of shorts on YouTube. There are free courses if you go to things like Coursera, and there are other websites, where it's free, or you may have to make a financial investment, especially if you're moving from one major industry to the other, that you need that foundation and that ground, that basic to transition over to another role. A lot of people always ask me, oh my God, I love HR, and I want to transition to HR. And I'm like, I'm sorry. HR is just not one of those roles that you can transition from mid-level leadership to a mid-level role in human resources. It is definitely one of those roles where you have to start, from an entry level and to move your way up. So if you don't have experience in human resources, it's very unlikely that you will get a manager role or a director role in human resources and don't have the experience. So you have to figure out your transferable skills, what that industry is, what training that you need, and to invest in yourself.
Awesome. Thank you, Miss Melinda. I appreciate that.
Kim, before you move on, let
Sure.
me I want to talk about Chatita. So Chatita is who I call my Chat GPT. But there is so much information if you learn how to ask ChatGPT a lot of questions. And a couple questions would be something as simple as, I have this, and you can list out these particular skills. What jobs would be good for these type of skills? Another question you can ask is, I'm looking for this type of job. I'm interested in this type of job. What are some of the skills or education I need for that particular job. And then it'll say something, then you go deeper. You keep asking it questions, and it really will help you to really get a good description, because words aren't my thing. Like, I'm not necessarily a good word person. I copy a lot of stuff, but it helps me to say, I can say something very general. And like you were saying, to be able to put it on a resume to really communicate your skills, just go into it and say, okay, I can talk a lot. I'm good at organizing something. Give me, reword that for me, Chat GPT, to maybe, so I can put it on a resume. Reword that for me, Chat GPT, so that I can use it for such and such. Like, you can get good wording and very clear description, but it's just constantly asking more and more questions and making it deeper. So especially if your communication is not where you want it to be, and you saying something simple, but somebody else says like, "Oh, that sounds real good," and they're saying the same thing, right? So if you're the person who always the one who's coordinating something for your family picnic, your family reunion, they'll give you, Chat GPT will tell you all the skills that you have displayed as a result of doing that. So use it in order to help you market yourself. I guess that's where I was going with that.
You got it. Perfect. Thank you, Denise. And that's this kind of segues right into the analyze industries when Melinda was talking about HR. When you're doing your homework and trying to find, okay, I've got the skill set, I'm interested in HR, or I'm interested in going into tech, or whatever industry you might be interested in. Write a couple down and start doing your homework. Go on ChatGPT, start asking it questions, Google, analyze those industries. What kind of environment do you want to work in? Are you okay working outside all day? Maybe you like gardening or construction or whatever it might be. If you're an indoor person and you want to stay on the computer all day, okay, that's a totally different job. So keep those things in mind. And sometimes it things that you think of, well, that's just common sense, but not necessarily. If you write it all down and develop that picture, right, of what we're talking about, develop that picture of who you want to be, where you want to be, what do you want to do with your skills, and then learn more from that. But also in researching those industries, you will find out, like HR, you have to work from the ground up in HR. You cannot just skip into it. Unlike as I'm going into talent development, there's a lot of teachers who come out of the public schools that actually will switch over and get into corporate talent development, because there is a lot of facilitation skills and instructional design skills that they have already learned that they can utilize in the corporate world. Not everybody can do it successfully, but there's a lot of people who can. So it's just one of those, you've got to find out what are your limitations of breaking into that industry at which phase in your life where you're at. Are you willing to spend the money to maybe go back to school and start over from the beginning and get that foundation work done? Okay. Which leads right into educate yourself. So as you've started narrowing down kind of what you want to do, you need to go and identify those skills that you need to acquire to be a top candidate in your field, not just to get in the door, but to be a top candidate. And I don't know if anybody's done some job hunting recently in the last few years, but it is insanely competitive. There are fake companies out there making fake job postings. There are all kinds of weird things, that you need to be aware of. And you got to do your homework. When you get out on LinkedIn, there's still going to be people out there who are not real, who are going to try to lure you in. They're going to try to scam you. They want you to pay for something before they hire you. You don't pay for anything. So you've got to be aware. Talk to your friends that are going through the same thing, or family members, anyone in your near arena that can help you. Any of us on the call that have gone through it recently, you can reach out to any of us. But reach out to those organizations. So I found a lot of my trainings my career doesn't necessarily need a college degree. It's more experience based. So I went through Association of Talent Development, which is a nonprofit national organization, just like SHRM is, which Melinda is the president of SHRM with with the Memphis chapter for HR development. And so there are some great organizations that have some incredible courses. You do have to pay for them, join up, all that kind of stuff. Yes, you have to invest in yourself. Or you might be able to find some reduced classes, like Melinda mentioned, Coursera is a good one. It's a minimal fee a month, and then you can take unlimited classes. Some of them are different. So there's a master class, there's all kinds of stuff out there. Online college classes that you might be able to get free or reduced. There's local community colleges if you just need to start over and start fresh and get into something new. And if you don't know where you want to start, just jump into some classes that may interest you. So again, educate yourself, start building yourself up. It'll also help you gain that confidence, because when you are job hunting, there is nothing worse than hearing no or getting crickets, right? You get ghosted. So it takes a lot of, what's the right word, ladies?
Patience.
Patience and
Resilience.
Resilience. Thank you. That's it. To go through the process. It is. You do have to be very resilient. And there's times you're going to have bad days and you're like, okay, that's the 30th no I've heard in 2 weeks. And, that just means it wasn't the right job for you. The right one will come along. And that's when you also have to take measure as you're going through the process. And maybe the resume isn't quite right or where it's supposed to be. So every couple of weeks, you might want to go back and take a look at it with some fresh eyes. And just, again, have those conversations. Networking is going to be everything. And I'm going to have another slide on that here in a minute. This resume building, when is the last time you updated your resume? And we talked about this quite a bit already. Ask others in your life for help. Have them review it. Like I said, my sister's a life coach, and I use that AI app to help tailor it. I had my general one that I updated on my own in a Word document, but I tossed that into the software. It did quite a nice job, I thought. And again, you could go to each section and really customize it for that industry I was in at the time. And then had her review it. She gave me more feedback, went back and did some more on it. It gave me a great baseline resume. And I always say a baseline resume is because you will need to continue to tailor for each job application you put out there. Because not all HR is created equal, right, Melinda? Not all talent development is created equal. So there's different types of jobs in each one of those areas. So for me, I might be looking for instructional design, but it might be for a manufacturing company. Then the next one that might come up might be instructional design for a retail company. So they're looking for slightly different things. So you really need to read those job descriptions on what they're requiring from the applicant. Use those words in your resume, making sure that you're repeating what they want from the applicant. So you have the baseline, and then tailor each one. Same thing with your cover letter. You want to tailor it to that job you're applying to. All right. And then we were talking about building a network. This right here tonight is a great example of doing a little networking. I know we're not chatting as much, but this is a great way to make some connections. You want to tap into family, friends, former coworkers, maybe people you went to high school with 10 years ago might pop back into your life, and look at people on Facebook. What are they doing now? Somebody might be in the industry you're interested in. Same thing with LinkedIn. And there's a lot of groups on LinkedIn too. So not just the national organization, there's some informal groups that you can join, people that post things and have discussions. I have been really lucky so far in the training that I'm currently taking with ATD. 2 out of the 3 of my instructors are independent consultants. And that is what I want to do. So I'm actually having meetings with them outside of my class to learn more about how do I take those next steps to actually become a consultant. I don't necessarily need to run my own business, but I want to get in the consulting field. And that's what a lot of the coursework I'm taking is behind it. But I want to really take that deeper dive, pick their brains. Maybe they have an available position. Maybe it's something part-time where I can learn something. But again, it's those step by step, stone by stone. We've got to build those connections. Just set up informal coffee meetings. It doesn't have to be anything like, do you have a job for me? We're not begging, we want to see what's out there. We want to see how we fit into our world, learn from that other person's experiences. What have they done to step themselves up to get in the position they're at? And then maybe they know somebody who has an opening, or maybe they know somebody else in the field that is something more specific to what you're looking for. The possibilities are endless. But as my sister has always told me, and she was a lawyer for years and then decided she was done with it, and she switched into life coaching. It was a big switch for her. That was about 10 years ago herself. And she's always told me, she said, Kim, applications don't get jobs. Networking gets jobs. People talking to people gets jobs. That's how you land a job. So I cannot stress that enough. And if you're an introvert, it is a little bit harder. You've got to put yourself out there and say, this is what I have to do to move my life forward. And I just said applications aren't everything, but you still have to obviously apply, right? You still have got to go and apply. And this whole process is not for the weak. It is a job in itself, right? So you really need to plan time. And so someone like me right now, I am now unemployed, right? So I have my schedule's completely open, if you will, but it's not. Today I had class. Tonight I had this. Tomorrow I have a coffee with someone at 10 for some networking. I have exercise classes tomorrow, stuff like that. So keep yourself busy, keep yourself scheduled. Look at this as a job. You have a job working to get a job, because you should be working on a lot of this every day, even if it's a couple hours. You've got to be continuously putting effort in towards those next steps. There is a gal on LinkedIn. Her name is Emily Worden, Worden. She is phenomenal. She has some great, she's the one who actually started the open to work hashtag for LinkedIn. And she has some incredible advice about trying to get a job. It's Emily Worden, Worden. And definitely find her out there, follow her. She has incredible resources. She's got examples. You can sign up for her newsletters, all that kind of stuff. So again, it's keeps you moving, keeps you motivated every day, keep you moving forward. That way you feel like you're making progress, even though you may not be getting the yeses you want to hear, or you're not getting the interviews that you want, but at least every day you're doing something to better yourself, to move the whole process forward. All right. And then obviously with all of this, there's a couple other things to consider. Do you have a financial plan? So not everybody can walk away from their job like I did. And it's not like I had a ton of savings, but I have enough to get me by for a little while, just to focus on me. But you've got to make sure that you have looked at all of that before you say, I'm out, bye, here's my 2-week notice. And sometimes we get emotional in that job when we leave, and we're out of frustration or whatever it might be. And you're like, I'm just going to leave, I'm done. But here's my 2-week notice. And maybe you didn't put all the thought in that you needed to. Definitely take a moment, take a step back. Can you financially afford to walk away without another job right when you walk out the door? And I'm not saying it has to be the right job, just another job, something to financially sustain you while you are still continuing to look. I always say sometimes a job is a job and sometimes a job is a career. Depends, a lot of folks, especially when you're in college, you're working retail, you're working fast food, you're working restaurants. It's a job. It's not a career, and then once you have more skill set behind you, then you start looking more at career focus. Um, so sometimes you just need to even get something part-time, just to pay the bills while you're going through the process. Melinda's shaking her head. Yes, yes, and we've got to do what we got to do, right? We got to survive at the end of the day. But we still have to continue down our path and to be able to manage both. Because like in my previous job, I was working 60, 70 hours a week. I didn't have that kind of time in my life to devote to my classes, to my education, to moving forward, to being able to network with folks with more of a freedom of schedule. That was never going to happen. So I had to make that choice and say, okay, I'm going to do this for this spend in this period of time. If it's 5 to 6 months, and then okay, Kim needs to get a part-time job to start paying some bills, right? So again, look at your whole picture, making sure that you're looking at everything. And then also on here, I have location. And I think we mentioned this earlier too. Are you willing to move? Are you open to a hybrid role or remote? Maybe is that something that you're interested in as well? Ladies, all of you with experience out there, which should be everybody on the call has probably had a job or has changed jobs at one point in your life. Any other things that you want to consider when you're making a major career change?
Lots of prayer.
Yes, absolutely. Now, use your friends and families as sounding boards. You've got to have a good support system in place too, And if you're single, lean on extended family and friends and parents if they're available, and just somebody that you can talk to and download sometimes. Say, I'm struggling today. This is my 30th no. I'm not sure if I'm doing the right thing. And that's okay. That's okay. As long as you've got somebody in your life who's been able to listen, maybe help guide you a little bit, or at least just to cheer you up, right? Sometimes you just need a cheerleader. They may not understand all of what you're going through, but sometimes we just need a cheerleader, and that's okay. All right.
How many people are actively on LinkedIn to be able to maximize their opportunities? I think Pam says she is. I'm not. Okay. Ruby. Okay. Mary. Erica. Okay. So you have a presence, and then are you actively utilizing some of the, being intentional about your connections? I am not. I've just recently gone through a couple of classes, and I just need to sit down and get everything, my header and all those great things in place. So if for those of you who are not on there, I encourage you, because there's always, I know, her name just, Robin, this Turner, I know it's her last name, Tucker.
Robin Tucker Wilson.
Robin Tucker, yes. She always makes available free LinkedIn classes. It is worth figuring out because it's a little bit more than just saying I got a profile. Mm-hmm. It's like to be able, especially if you're looking for a job, you want to understand how it works and how you build your network deeper as well. So you're LinkedIn famous. So I'm one of those people who've had a face on there for a gazillion years and figured out I probably should change that face because that face don't even look at me, look like me anymore. And so now I'm choosing to use it because of now I need it differently with my Empowered by DS business compared to when I was focusing on my Mary Kay business. So, but it's a different world. It's a different world than it's not just being on social media like you are on a Facebook or are on a Instagram or something like that. And it's definitely a place. I went to one of her classes, and I think, is this where we reconnected?
Yeah.
Yeah. And she, so connecting at events is a big deal as well. So get yourself out there. Mm-hmm. But they were asking the question about people looking for jobs. And a guy said, I guess he was a recruiter, and he said the first thing he did with looking at the resumes, he looked to see if the guy was on LinkedIn, and the person was not on LinkedIn. He instantly put his resume to the side and kept going. Like, that's another way people are weeding you out. So you want to have because it's considered the professional, right? Your professional online presence, one of the professional online presence. So that may be the other thing you need to work on in the process of making yourself visible and learning how to network on LinkedIn.
Fantastic. Thank you, Miss Denise. Yeah, it is really, there's so much out on LinkedIn. It's not just, here's my little network. You know, you might only have 50 connections to start, but if you went to college, you need to put in your college, because guess what? Everyone in your college is now a connection, right? So at least if you went to Mississippi State or whatever, they're going to be like, hey, these people from Mississippi State work here. So you're going to start seeing, it might not be first level connections, it might be second or third level connections, and that's okay. But if you at least have some people out there, you can start talking to those second level connections. So that means you don't immediately know that person, but someone you know knows them. That's that second level. You know, if you do a little invite, hey, can we chat? And ask them, say, hey, I see you work at so and so, you know, tell me a little about that. Or do you have some time? You have 30 minutes on your schedule next week, and you can tell me about your experiences at this company. It might not be the job you want, but maybe it's the company you're interested in. So things like that. There's all different kinds of things. Yeah, definitely work on that. And it takes, I mean, be prepared to spend some time on LinkedIn and look at all the different ways you can enhance yourself. Mine is nowhere near complete because it, right? I need to get a new headshot. I need to do some things there. But you know, just saying that you're open to work is huge too, with that little banner and the whole thing and the hashtag. And but then make sure before you do that, you have a couple of things spruced up in your work history and all that kind of stuff, and it's worded the way you want. So at least somebody does glance at the open to work hashtag and they see you pop up, you're not too terribly mortified when your profile is seen. So you want to make sure you've got a couple of things done. But yeah, there's a lot of networking that can be done through LinkedIn. Again, also be just aware of, remember we talked about earlier, there's scams that are out there, unfortunately. And you'll see other people that will say, hey, this one's a scam, don't do that one, you know, that kind of stuff. So, you know, wisdom of the crowds, right? Utilize that to your advantage as well. Be aware of what's going on in our society, in our online world these days. Any other last minute thoughts, Denise or Melinda, that you'd like to share with us?
I will tell you, I value so much of networking, making yourself visible, getting to know people. And one thing is always realizing it's not always someone has to have a direct need for you. Like you, because I'm a big believer, and I talk about this all the time too, is if you guys remember, I think it was a Verizon commercial where the guy stood there and there was all the people behind him, you know, as your network connection. It was one of the cell phones commercials. I believe that's what networking is. It's not always just the person you're looking at, but who that person is connected to. So, and being willing to get to know them, to be able to make yourself somebody that they will want to get to know. So building those relationships deeper, not always being the person who's asking for something, but learning about people. So how can you serve them? And then you will become more valuable to them. So, and I think that all plays out through, because you never know when you're going to need a job as well. You just never know when you're going to need a job or need something that somebody has to offer. So building those relationships, don't get so comfortable because things look good now. You want to have a network of people that you know for any type of resources that you may need.
Absolutely. And then um, sometimes those chamber events, especially like the young professionals, I think some of those are free.
Yes.
So I don't know if that's 30 and under, what that's
40
40
and
and under. Okay. 40 and under. Like the South Haven Chamber, they have their groups. They have all kinds of fun events and some more networking events and stuff like that. But that's a great way, especially if you're one who tends to work from home, you don't have a lot of social experience and you need to get out and network. Start local. Melinda's, I know, Sherm, your group, you guys, we can come to those meetings as well up in Memphis, but there's all kinds of meetings all over. We just have to just look, take the time and start looking. And I'll be amazed what you can find out there. So that's all I have for tonight. And I did try to quickly look through the chat, I think. And thank you all for posting the resources as we were talking, Melinda and Denise. I greatly appreciate that. And Erica posted something out. She posted her. There you go. See, Miss Erica's already networking. She's got her profile out there. So let's make sure if you take a few minutes tonight, let's go and get some of those LinkedIn profiles and we can start making each other connections. That's really important. So
does anybody have any questions? Unshare your screen.
Oh, yep.
Unless you have, do you have ways that they can connect with you or put your LinkedIn in a?
I didn't put it on there. Ironically, right?
But definitely.
Right.
And I know, put your information in the chat, whether you put how they can connect with you, Melinda, as well, because I know she is an HR specialist as well. But being able to definitely, how do you share that? Your LinkedIn. So you have to know, it's like, it should look like their information.
Oh, there we go.
Oh, great.
Sorry.
That's okay. But does anybody have any questions regarding, anybody in a situation where they're transitioning, through all of us on here, maybe we can answer any questions, any situations that you're facing that maybe you just want to share in this conversation before we end. Anybody having some challenges that maybe somebody else is having or have had and they figured it out? Anybody? And then
I just want to say, and I do think she's still on here and she will probably, I was trying to type it real quick. Just two things I want to say. First thing, thank you so much. Three things. Okay. Thank you very much. I enjoy it. Thank you. Second of all, Denise Silas has a wonderful
I'll pay her later.
change of career. How she changed her story is wonderful.
Well, thank you, Pam.
It is. It's I admire her for that. And then the third thing, I think she's still on here. Melanie Gurley is the HR director at my job, and she's a phenomenal person. So those were the three things I wanted to say.
Well, thanks.
Well, lovely. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else have any questions or comments? Was this helpful? I always ask that question. Was this information helpful? Okay, Mary said, one of my challenges is that the degree that I have earned, I don't have any work experience in those fields. That is definitely, I know what I have, a couple of things I have, and then, Melinda, of course, and Kim, if you guys add, or even Melanie can add, is sometimes you have to start gaining it through, if it's hard to get into your field, maybe even being able to do, if it's something where you can volunteer, like to be able to connect with organizations to volunteer those services, to be able to build up if it's harder to get directly into the field. So, of course, it depends on what the field is, right? As we were saying earlier, but you may have to look at opportunities that way to gain some hours in the actual field that you're in. Because sometimes it is hard to get experience in the field, especially once you almost got out of school and you're not transitioning over to be able to penetrate into another area. But maybe you can volunteer depending on what the field is. Anybody else have anything else to offer?
Sometimes depending on some organizations, there may be some pro bono work that you can do just to gain the experience. And you may have to create that pre bono experience. I'm not sure what your degree is and what you're looking to transition, but is it an organization or someone that you know that will be willing to allow you to work, on an intern basis or a volunteer basis to get that experience? You know, really, sometimes you really need to probably do what we call the desk audit and really kind of sit down and look at what you really do, all your tasks and responsibilities of the stuff that you do that you don't even think you do, and how you can, translate those into transferable skills, into another role. So a lot of times it takes a coach or someone else to help go through your resume, to kind of go through that with you. Sometimes you doing it yourself internally, you miss some things that somebody else could help pull out for you.
And Mary, could I ask too, how long has it been since you went to school for that degree?
My first one is old. I finished it I started in high school and then I had to pull out and I didn't go back for the associate's degree to finish it until 2018. And my bachelor's degree I finished in 2021.
Oh, fantastic. So you're not too out of date. I mean, that's good. I mean, I was thinking like if it's a longer time period than that, I'd say maybe go back, take some refresher courses. I don't know if you still have contacts with any of your professors. They might be able to help as well and see if they're obviously in the field, even though they're teaching. They may have some connections to do some of that pro bono work or internship type things. Even once you're out of school, some of those things may be available.
Okay, that sounds good. I definitely was wanting to know about the intern. I always thought it was just, if you've been out of school, that it didn't apply to you. So that sounds good. I'll look into that.
Yeah, and that'll vary, of course, from situation to situation, but sometimes internships are completely open. Some of them require that you're still in school or at least in a college accredited course. So maybe you just need to go take a class and you qualify for the internship, So
Okay.
there might be some ways around that too.
All right. Thank you much.
Yeah,
Yes.
absolutely.
Networking is going to be a big piece of that. Like, who do you know? Trying to find some people to be able to build those relationships and get some connections. So I can't emphasize that enough, you guys. It is a lot about who you know. It is. I mean, because some people know about things that you wouldn't even think to ask, or know about opportunities you may not have thought to ask about as well. Yes, definitely. It is recorded, and I will be sharing, and it'll be up on our the website. Not our website, our YouTube channel as well. Any other questions, comment, feedback? Hopefully everybody, let's just see if there's any other information on here. Awesome, very helpful, yay. And I've already emailed Robin to say, hey, this is gonna be a follow-up. We had already been talking, I just needed to follow up. So y'all was my follow up, Denise, because we had already been talking about getting together as well. So, but that LinkedIn, I didn't put mine in there because, yeah.
You're good. You're good, Miss Denise.
But I have to, by Friday, it was my deadline day because I just finished my class. Friday is my deadline day to have it all fixed up.
There you go.
And the thing too, I would say this, you guys, if you're making changes, make sure your activities of what you are doing is lining up to where you want to go. Because sometimes we have our desires over here, but we're not doing anything to get ourselves in position to be that person or to experience that. So look at your LinkedIn and saying, okay, this is the desires of my heart. If somebody looked at this, can they tell that's my desires? Can they tell that's what I'm looking for? So that, so that's part of my thing is like, it's not communicating right now where I really want to go. So by Friday, my stuff is going to be up. So all of y'all can hold me accountable to that by Friday. Y'all will be clear about what Denise is focused on and what she's doing by Friday. All my accountability partners. Let me screenshot this so I know. So any last comments, feedback, anybody want to share as well? And tell people what you want so you can have a tribe of people looking for you. Pray about who you should tell, because everybody, when you're changing, people who don't like change is not going to be so supportive of your change. So make sure you're talking to people who can understand change, support your change, any negativity. If you're already getting rejected, all that kind of stuff, you don't need anybody in your ear telling you stuff that is not going to support you and helping you to stay focused. Because everybody don't, it's going to sound like this. You going to leave that good job, right? You've been doing that good government, that it may not be a good government job, but you'll hear it in those ways. So make sure you have the right people in your ear to be able to support you when you're going and making a courageous step, because to change and do something different, and you've been doing something for a long time, or even when you have to be in position to, because you were pushed out, like, the job situation. So just make sure that you just have the right circle of people around you that's going to pour into you when you're trying to do something that was already something that you had to have courage and do it. So you don't need people in your ear that's not going to be encouraging to you. That is so important in the process as well. So that's it. That's all. Anybody else? Y'all good? Y'all good? Thank y'all for getting on tonight. I hope this was valuable to you. Next week, as I mentioned, we will have my daughter talking about her transition, and then some things that's coming up in the month of August. We have someone that's going to give us the facts and myths about grants. We have someone, being intentional about your personal development plan, being focused on your weight journey and then there's one other person. I can't remember who it was. So some great things coming up in the month of August as well. So you guys have a fantabulous rest of the evening. Thank you for tuning in. It's time for me to do my Duolingo. Have a great night.
Thanks for having me, Denise. And
You're
thanks
welcome.
for coming, Melinda.